All right, what is up, people? If you can hear me, say hello. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Sound check, sound check. Say yes, we can hear you if you can hear me. This is a sound check. Arnav, Spartan in the house. Ishan, Bhavesh, Samayam, Steve, Sahil, another Spartan in the house. What is up? Vedant says audible. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's do this, people. Let's do this. Let's do this. How are you guys doing? So, I want you guys, firstly, big welcome to all of you future game developers of India, all of you future rock stars. Good to see you guys. I want you to put in the chat where you guys are from. Okay, I want you to put in the chat where you guys are from. Tell me the city where you're from, so I know where you guys are coming from. Okay. Okay, if it's lagging, 1 second, let me just. All right. Yeah, I know. Is that better? I have connected to a different internet, so I have BSNL and I have another one. Is this better? Is this better? No lag here. We good. We good. We good. Okay. No lag now, right? Andaman, Nicobar, Rewari, Indore, Hyderabad, Surat, Gujarat, Mumbai, Gullis. Okay, wow. All right. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know where you guys are from. Great to hear you guys. You got an Amir official, Buddies Gamer, Rohan, Satish, Archit, Khan, Shivam, Buddies Gamer. Yeah, I remember a lot of you guys. I remember a lot of you guys from the uh, uh, from the contacts. All right, so let's get started. Today is going to be a 1 hour live, and I have a lot of information to give you guys. I have a lot of stuff to tell you guys. So let's go. Whatever questions you have, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And we have some moderators here, so please don't spam the chat, guys. Do ask your questions in a civil manner, and let's do this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be starting my presentation now. Give me a second. All right. All right, people, let's do this. Right. So the topic of today's live is game development a good career choice? Now, the first thing I want to ask you guys is, let me know in the chat if what you've heard about game development. Right. I know all of you guys are here because you're interested in making games, you're curious about making games. Some of you may even have tried making some games, right? But all of you have one question: can we make games? Like, what is that like? Is there a possibility of having a good career in game development? You guys must have heard all kinds of things, right? So today's live is to tell you about the truth about game development. Is it a good career choice or is it not a good career choice? And that's what I'm going to be talking about, right? So let us go. um Somebody's saying I'm interested in game designing, not game development. Arun, the thing is, understand this. Game development is an entire process. So game development means everything: game designing, game art, game programming. Only in India, game development is confused with game programming, right? So abroad in AAA industries, the entire team, designers, artists, and programmers, everybody's called a video game developer. And only in India we have this thing that the developer equals programmer, which is actually not the truth. Okay, all right. So let's do this. Let me talk about myself. Who is Rahul Saigal? I am the founder of gamer2maker.com. I am the creative lead at Entain, which is one of the world's largest casino gaming companies. That's my day job. The games I have made $75 million plus till date. Doesn't mean that I have I have $75 million here. I would be sitting, I would have probably bought an island in the Bahamas. I'd be sitting there, but no. My company has made this much money from the games I've made. I'm also a game design consultant. I have been teaching at Backstage Pass, VIT Bhopal, and Srishti Bangalore for many, many years. And I studied game making at Vancouver Film School, which is obviously in Vancouver, Canada. And I used to be a merchant naval officer, believe it or not. So these are and that was my first job. I started off at Piranha Games in Vancouver, and then I went to Game Loft, and this is my own company, my own game studio. I used to teach at Backstage Pass. I used to teach Srishti and VIT Bhopal. So this is a little bit about myself. You can totally go to my LinkedIn and you'll get to know all about me. But this is not about me, guys. Today is about you, right? Also, I'm the founder of Gamer to Maker. Gamer to Maker, India's number one online game development school. We have game design, game programming, game art, mentorship programs. I'll be telling you more about that later on. Like I said, today is not about that. This live is about you guys, right? Now, why this topic for the live event? Like, why have I chosen the topic of it, is game development a good career choice? Because I hear so many of you guys, have doubts, you have questions whether game development is a good career choice. These are some of I had actually posted some stories on Instagram recently asking people to tell me their views, and these are what people have told me. They say there are very less vacancy now, very less staff. People are quitting this gaming field because they didn't get a job. Art jobs are decreasing. There's no new demand for category artists. My parents say there's no scope in this field, there's no job security, and if there's something like a pandemic, people in this field will be jobless. I've heard that you have to work overtime every day and you don't get paid. So, like, so many myths. There's so much, frankly, there's so much bullshit on the internet about game development, and today's live is to kind of set the record straight and help you to understand what game development is all about, especially in India. Now, remember, guys, I'm talking from the point of view right now of India. I can also talk about abroad, etc. But today, specifically, I'm talking from the point of view of how the game industry in India is. Okay, first, let's start off with some numbers. This is the global games market. You guys may have seen this a graphic a few times. The game industry is absolutely huge. It was $185 billion in 2022, and that is a big industry, right? And as you can see, 92 billion, which means that exactly half of the global game industry is actually mobile at this point. A few years ago, it was not so big. Mobiles was a small bit. PC games, console games was a big part of the industry, but now mobile is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. In the pandemic, it's grown a lot. One of the industries that actually grew massively in the pandemic was the game industry. Remember that you can play games sitting at home and you can make games sitting at home, right? So, which means that no pandemic can stop the game industry. I kept working throughout the pandemic. I was working from home, just sitting on a laptop and working. You can download games, you can play games. The game industry is pandemic proof. Believe it or not, the game industry grew massively during the pandemic because people were stuck at home. They didn't know what to do, so they played video games, right? So it's absolute bullshit that a pandemic will bring the game industry down. It's actually helped the game industry to grow massively, right? Now let's talk about online gaming. Basically, game development, games is actually bigger right now than the music industry plus the movie industry combined. Right. So all Avatar, Pavatar, and Avengers, all these movies, plus recorded music, everything combined does not even come close to what gaming is. So gaming is the world's largest entertainment industry by far, and it's going to grow. So as an entertainment medium, games is the way forward. Okay. So you don't need to worry about the future of gaming. It's just like people who want clickbait, people who want to read the articles, oh, gaming is dying. No, it's not. Gaming is just growing. It's growing faster than anything else. It's growing insanely fast. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about India. Now, you know what it's like when a rocket is taking off, right? You know how people who say, oh, I bought a plot in this place, it was a jungle so many years ago, and now that plot is one of the hottest properties. I bought it for like 50,000 rupees and now it's worth like 50 crores. So that's what's happening in the game industry in India right now. So this is actually a report from Lumikai. So guys, all the resources I'm giving you, all the stuff that I'm showing you here, it's all in a PDF. Okay, I made a PDF so that you can see all this data, you can see all this information for yourself, and you can also share it with your parents. You can share it with your friends. You can share it with your family. If they're not convinced, they're saying, oh, I don't know if the game industry is a good career choice. You will be able to share all of this. Okay, you'll be able to share all the information. Now, the Discord, guys, before I forget, join the G2M Discord server right now. If you're not, all this information is going to be available. It's available on a PDF. It's available in the Gamer to Maker Discord server. So the link is in the description. Join right there. In case we have any problems during this broadcast, everything is going to be happening. All the information is going to be there. Also, I'm having a Q&A session right after this one. I'm going to be direct on Zoom, where I'll be able to interact with people who want to join the courses. The link to that will also be posted in the Discord server. So right now, right now, go to the description of the video and join the Gamer to Make a Discord server. You will get access to all this information, all these links right now. Okay, so as you can see here on the screen, can you see 2022 and can you see 2027? This is what's about to happen. It's going to be more than double. It's going to go from 2.6 billion to 8.6 billion. Huge growth. The game industry is about to take off, and we need people. The game industry in India needs people. That is the truth, right? And if there is ever a time, any place to join an industry and take up a career, it is this time. This is the time you want to join when an industry is about to take off, because that is when you have maximum opportunities. You have the maximum employment opportunities. You can get promotions fast. You can get salary hikes fast. This is the best time to join any industry when it's in its rocket phase, right? In the US, for example, it's not in its rocket phase. It's already going down. It was a rocket many years ago. It plateaued, and now US, Canada, the game industry is actually flat or coming down. In India, it's completely different, right? This is the reality, right? This is an article which says while India's got talent, the game industry struggles to find it, right? You guys may have heard there are no jobs, etc., etc., etc. However, everybody in the game industry knows that there is a shortage of talent. There are not enough people in the game industries. Game studios are actually struggling for people. And once again, this article, link to the full article, also in the Discord server. Okay. And also some really, really good news. The government is really backing the game industry. This government has been massively supportive of the game industry. They're actually setting up a task force to help in terms of education, in terms of incubation, in terms of funding, in terms of regulation. The government wants India to be a game development superpower, and they're really, really supporting us, right? So once again, all the links to all these articles is there. You can just download the PDF and you can show it to your parents. You can show it to your relatives who say, "Oh, beta, I don't know if game industry is good." Like you can totally show it to them, share it to them, and I've done the research for you, and you just have to share it. It's going to give you confidence, right? My idea here is to give you guys Vedant, can you know what, we won't post the PDF now, we'll kind of post it towards the end. Okay, so just wait kind of towards the end of the when the live is about to finish, it'll be posting the PDF at that time, right? So write down, just join the Gamer to Maker server. So yeah, so that's it. The government is massively supportive, which is some really, really good news, right? So here's the situation in India right now. It's actually pretty funny if you look at it. On one side, there are game studios which are like, oh my god, we can't find good people to hire. Where are all the people? We need good people, and all of you guys are kind of freaking out because you can't get a job at a game studio. It is really, really bizarre situation where on one side there is a shortage of people, and on the other side there are people who are kind of like, we're not getting jobs. There are no jobs in the game industry. It's pretty bizarre. And every day I look at it and I was like, wait, how is this happening? But this is a real thing. It's a real problem in India right now. And I've been seeing this because I've been mentoring people, I've been interacting with game studios, and this is the reality. And everybody agrees here, right? Now, most of you guys have probably done some research, right? You guys, let me know where you get your information from, right? If you kind of like say, should I get a job, should I get a job to should I get a job in the game industry, is the game industry good, where do you go? Usually you go to Quora and you go to YouTube channels, right? This is where you get all your information. And I'll tell you, this information is false. And I'll tell you why it's false. It's false. All most of the bad news you get from Quora, in which people talk about crunch and people talk about layoffs, and then there are all these hundreds of YouTube channels which keep talking about game development and how bad it is and what the situation is like, and the gaming is dying and all that kind of crap, right? All this stuff is false because 99% of the info you see about the game dev industry is from the US and Canadian game industry. Remember that the US and Canadian game industry is at a much, much mature level. They've been doing this for 30, 40 years and they've reached a plateau. They have reached a peak, and which means that at that point they start to go down. Whereas India is just rising, and the rise is absolutely meteoric right now. We are behind them in many ways, but we also ahead of them in many ways because we have a thriving mobile game industry. I know most of you guys don't really like mobile games. You want to do PC console games, but we'll talk about that later. So somebody's asking, I've heard that game developers are overworked and paid less. Is that true? No, it's not true at all. Like I said, you have heard this stuff on YouTube from US and Canadian channels, right? Do let me know where you get this information. If you say, I have heard, let me know where you've heard it, right? So this is it right now. The Indian game industry is really young, and the American game industry is actually quite mature at this point. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a short video with you, so bear with me. Second, right. Hang on a second. All right. So that was I actually made a video and I released it on YouTube a few weeks ago about top India's top 10 game studios, and those were a selection of India's top 10 game studios. Okay. There are actually more than 500 studios in India right now, but these are the top 10. I just want to show you a quick glimpse of the kind of top level game studios that exist in India. And trust me, I have I've worked in Vancouver and I'm seeing Indian studios these days, and they are really getting to be of that level. Okay. Um, so all right, let's get back to a presentation. All right. All right. Cool. So once again, guys, this video is actually available on this YouTube channel. By the way, guys, if while you're here, make sure that you subscribe to this particular YouTube channel. So I'm going to have a sip of water right now while you guys go right now and you hit the subscribe button, because this is the kind of content that you get from me. You get to learn about the 10 best game studios, and every week I try and release a video about the game industry in India, top quality content. So go right now and hit that subscribe button while I have a sip of water. All right. Awesome. Hit that subscribe button. Okay. Now, what's the problem, right? Why are people freaking out? The first big problem is that there is a lack of information about the Indian game industry. All you guys are very, very aware of the game industry, but you think the game industry, the US game industry, is the Indian game industry. It's not. The Indian game industry is very, very, very different from the US game industry. The US game industry is there, the Indian game industry is here, right? So all the information that you guys have been getting about crunch and layoffs and all that kind of thing, and AAA games and all these YouTubers you watch, they are mostly US and Canadian game industry. In India, we have a very, very young and strong game industry, and it has not the same. Next up, no mentorship or career counseling for game careers. There is nobody to say, hey, this is how you go about it, this is how you join the game industry, this is the process for you to follow to get a career, this is the educational system. There is no mentorship, there is no career counseling, which means also that parents have a difficult time understanding that you can actually, because parents obviously want the best thing for their children, they don't want the children to join a field that has no future. So parents get very upset when the kids say, I want to join the game industry, because there is no career counselor, there is nobody there to actually tell them no, that this is really good career option for you right now. Next up, we have a very, very bad educational system for game development, guys. A serious problem. And I know this because I've been teaching at game colleges for about 10 to 10 years before I started Gamer to Maker. And I know myself firsthand how bad it is. They just want to they just want to make money. They don't really want to teach. The situation when it comes to game college is really bad. In fact, you will not believe there's so many people in the Gamer to Maker course who have actually come from these game colleges. They finished their college over there and they learned nothing. They couldn't get jobs. They couldn't learn game design, game art, game programming, and then they came and joined Game Maker. And within 4 months, they got a job. All right. Recently, I had someone who was at a very, very famous game design institute from Indore. I'm not going to say which one it was. This person joined the program saying, Sir, I'm about to graduate, but I don't know anything about game design. Can I join Game to Maker? And in 4 months, he actually got a job at a game company as a technical artist, right? And also, parents are very, very unaware of the potential of game careers, right? The college I study just want to get money as much as they can. Yes, exactly, exactly. That's a thing, right? Because it's a trend. Game development is hot. Most, and they'll charge you like 4 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees at least, right? They're gonna charge you 4 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees for courses. And okay, it's all right to spend money, it's all right to invest in education, but you should get something out of it. The truth is that people are spending 4 5 lakh rupees and they're not getting anything out of that education. The money is gone, the time is gone, and they get nothing. They don't have jobs, they're not ready for the industry. That's a big, big, big problem. Okay. Now the next thing is, everyone says, oh, game development is hard. Now here's the thing that I want to tell you guys: understand what games are, right? For one moment, you have to realize that video games includes every single creative field ever known to man inside it, right? Every single creative field, which means that games includes art, it includes sound, it includes animation, it includes programming, it includes story writing, it includes visual design, everything. To make a game, you have to get all these things. I would go so far as to say that game making or game development is the highest form of creative expression known to man right now. Okay. And yes, it's not easy because you have to learn a lot of things. However, it's one of the most amazing things that you'll ever do. I promise you this. You will be able to live a fulfilling life if you if you love video games, if you like playing video games and you actually get to make video games. It's one of the best jobs in the world. You look forward to Monday. You don't mind Monday. You don't mind working. You don't mind working hard. It's one of the most amazing things, um, to actually make video games, right? It's not easy, but then again, if you're looking for something easy, if you're looking for something which is not difficult to learn, then I guess you should not be there in this life, because game development is challenging, but it's really really rewarding, right? Just ask somebody who makes video games and they'll say, "Wow, okay, this is all I want to do my whole life." Okay, now let's talk about money. Who's interested in knowing about the money? Who's interested in knowing about salaries? Let's look at some comments over here. um Right. Is people are talking about backstage pass, people are talking about college, how to study for game development. Right. Okay. Okay. So next, what about money? Can I have a good life as a game maker in India? Right. Now I'm going to answer that question. Now, this is Joseph. Joseph is a friend of mine, and Joseph runs a recruiting company. So, recruiting company, basically, their job is that they find people for game studios, right? And Joseph runs a company called Adventure Recruitment. He's the CEO of Adventure Recruitment, and I invited him to IGDC to deliver this talk, right? Now, of course, he's not here. He's not talking about beginner salaries, but these are the salaries of people in the game industry, and he knows this because he's the person doing the recruiting. He's the person connecting the candidate to the company, and he actually takes a commission based on the salary, right? No, AI cannot replace the requirement for game developers in India. Everybody keeps asking that question. That's not going to happen, at least for like many, many years. Definitely not. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Right. So, as you can see here, game developers, 3 to 12 years of experience can make up to 40 lakhs. Lead programmers and tech directors, 40 lakh to 1.5 crores, guys. Somebody just got placed as a director, technical director of a game company as one at 1.5 crore rupees per year. Right. Designers from 3 to 10 years experience can make up to 30 lakhs. Lead designers 30 to 70 lakhs, producer product managers 50 lakhs, lead product managers 50 lakhs to 1.5 crores. A product manager can make 1.5 crore rupees a year. You know how many lakh rupees that is per month? That's crazy. Game artists, 3 to 12 years experience, 10 to 25 lakhs. Technical artists, a role in great demand, up to 50 lakh rupees. Okay, now this entire video is available. Once again, it is in the PDF that we're going to be putting on the Gamer to Make a Discord server. So for those who came in late, please go join the Gamer to Make a Discord. We'll be sharing that PDF right now. You'll be able to see this video, the entire video. You'll be able to share it with your parents. You'll be able to share it with your friends. So if you want proof that the game industry is doing well, all that proof is there in that PDF. Okay, moving on. Now, why am I talking about salaries? I'm talking about these salaries because I've actually seen them. These are my students. These are Spartans from Gamer to Maker. These are the guys who I've personally helped. I've helped them with their CV. I've helped them with their resume. I've helped them with like tests. They've called me, says, "Sir, how can I? What questions do I write? What do I do?" What I've helped them with salary negotiations, and not just me. All of our mentors have helped them, and these are just a few. There are many, many more, but I can't have too many slides. These are guys who have actually joined the game industry, all at entry level salaries, right? And what I will tell you is that, of course, I can't specifically say who has gotten what. In this slide, there are people who have got 10.5 lakh rupees per year as beginners, entry level salary. Entry level salary of 10.5 lakh rupees a year among these guys. Yeah, I'm not going to say who it was, who it is right now, because I don't want to break the confidentiality with my students. That's very important to me. But there are people here who have made that much of money. It's happening right now, and it will keep happening, right? The question is, it's happening. The question is whether you guys I want to be part of it. Or are you guys going to miss out? Right? That's the big question right now. The game industry is taking off, and the only question right now is, are you going to be part of that journey? Right? Yes. So let's talk about salaries right now. Okay, it sounds great, but how do you get the starting salaries? Firstly, your portfolio has to be good. In the game industry, portfolio is really, really important. Portfolio means that it's a proof of your work, right? It's a link on the internet where you show your work, you showcase your work. If it's of good quality, then you guys are going to have a much, much better chance of getting that job. So, portfolio is really, really important. Next, the studio company that you join. Not all companies are the same. Larger companies, funded companies, obviously they pay much better salaries. If you're going to join a small indie studio, your salary not going to be so good. But if you join a much bigger company like Zynga or Play Simple, or Electronic Arts or something, then you're going to get a much higher salary, right? I know for a fact that like Electronic Arts actually pays 12 lakh rupees a year. Next, your references recommendation. If you get a good recommendation, that actually increases your chance of getting a good salary. Next up, how your interview and test goes. um Interviews obviously happen, but tests are also very, very important. uh, Everybody, all game companies give tests to people who they want to join, and you have to pass that test, and if you pass that test, then you get that salary and your negotiation skills, of course. So you can get a great starting salary. It depends on all these things, and these are things that I help people with as a mentor. It's my job in Gamer to Make It to actually help people to get these things right. Now, nobody on the internet can teach you this stuff, right? There's no YouTube video that teaches you this stuff. It has to come from someone who's in the game industry, who cares about your future, who wants your success, right? Which is why mentorship is so, so important, because these are factors which you are not going to learn from Udemy courses or YouTube videos. All right. Next, so here are the numbers. You can get a great starting salary. Now, all of these numbers are entry level salaries, right? I'm going to have a sip of water while you guys read this. Okay, B Tech versus MCA. Somebody's asking. So here's the thing: nobody cares about which degree you have. Okay, nobody talks about which degree you have. You need a degree. They don't look at your degree, they look at your portfolio. Game companies, you need to have a degree, right? If you want to get entry level job, you need to have a degree. However, they don't care what degree it is. It's a degree in psychology or whatever. They only look at your portfolio. They only look at your portfolio. So these are the numbers. As you can see, for a design job, you can start from 30K. The lower paid ones will be 30K. You can get as high as 60K per month starting salary with a good company, right? Similarly, a low salary would be 30K, and this salary band is seen from, I've personally observed, this is from the Gamer to Maker Spartans, who have who have actually joined, right? Remember, small independent studios generally offer less. Funded studios companies pay more. This is for a full-time job, right? Internships, which are part-time, which are like 2 hours, 3 hours a day, may even pay less. I'm talking about a full-time role, which is 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. These are the salaries which are being offered in the game industry, right? So internships will can pay lesser. There are some people who will pay like 10,000 rupees as an internship, but that should be done part time. Okay. Next up, how, right? How do you do this? How do you go from where you are to getting this kind of job, getting this kind of salary? That is the big question, right? Now, many of you guys, right? I see one big problem is that their funda is that they're going to learn game dev from the internet, because obviously YouTube is there. There are millions and millions of YouTube videos about game development, teaching you Unity and teaching you Unreal and teaching you Godot and teaching you this and teaching you that. Right now, the problem is, guys, that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching the same videos and making the small, same crappy games as you. When you say you're learning game development from the internet, you're learning tools from the internet, right? Now, say suppose you learn how to use a hammer. You can crack a rock, but can you make a sculpture? Can you become a sculptor by just learning how to use a hammer? You can't. You have to learn what to do with the tool. You have to learn the process. You have to learn the philosophy. You have to learn the entire process of making games, which is you cannot learn from the internet. The internet is great for tools. It's great for teaching you the basics of Unity or tools, or Unreal or Photoshop or Maya or whatever it is. How to actually use that to make a game or build a portfolio is something which is very difficult to learn by yourself, which is why 90% of people who want to start learning game dev from the internet, they fail, because they're not going to make it, because they're not going to get that mentorship, they're not going to be able to understand that, right? That's the thing, that's the truth. There's so much information out there, that's actually too much information, and most people just get stuck in the game dev loop, right? Next, people say, I'm going to find a good game dev college in India. Right now, I have some bad news for you guys. I know people have been talking about game dev colleges. Trust me, I've been teaching at game dev colleges in India, and the sad truth is there is no good game development college in India, right? I've actually seen all the comments right now talking about all these colleges, and trust me, I used to teach at these colleges, right? And I tried to get them to change their teaching methodology for a long time, because remember, I studied at VFS. I've studied VFS, and I know what it's like. I know what a good game education looks like, and it's not there in India, which is why I started Game Maker, because the education system, the game education system in India sucks. It really, really sucks, right? So it's a difficult choice. You learn on the internet or you go to a college. It's like um, devil between devil and the deep sea. Okay. A lot of you have maybe tried for a long time. I also get this question. A lot of people saying, I've tried a lot to get a job and I can't get a job. I have this, I made a game and I've applied to companies and I've not been able to get a job. So obviously this meme is going to help you, because it's not just one thing that you have to do, right? You have to build your portfolio, you have to build group projects, right? Remember that building a solo project doesn't really say much. Companies want people who know how to work in teams. If you make a bunch of solo projects, people are going to be like, okay, wait a minute, this person only likes to work alone. If you can make a group project with a bunch of people, then that shows the game company that this person actually can work with other people. So I encourage you, if you want to work on game projects, work on group projects. Don't work on solo projects, because that's not going to impress companies. It's many things. You have to get your portfolio right, you have to get your resume right, you have to get your LinkedIn profile right, and then apply to game studios, and then you have a good chance. Okay, just posting a video of GIF on some random Discord server, making Flappy Bird clone, that's not going to get you a job. Okay, so this is like, I know it's a meme, but it's really the truth. And I would say 90% of people who I see on the internet looking for game jobs, they have uh, from from the bottom, the first three are what these guys have been doing, right? All right, so how do you do this? How do you get past? The truth is that you need mentorship, right? A mentor can make all the difference, because mentors are actually in the game industry, right? And the thing is that you can spend years and years and years actually. A Fire Blade Z is just spamming the chat. Can somebody help with that, please? He's just spamming the chat. Can somebody time him out? Vedant, if you're there, if you could just, yeah. And even Godfather Yash Gaming is just spamming the chat with the same comment again and again and again. So yeah, so you need mentors, guys. The difference between success and failure in the game industry is that you actually need someone to guide you. You're going to be making a lot of wrong decisions, and a mentor can actually guide you. A mentor can actually get you to that point where you can get a job, give you that guidance, right? So mentorship is the most. I myself received mentorship. I went to Vancouver Film School and had a fantastic world class set of mentors, right? And if you're looking for mentorship, there's one thing I'll say is that I am there, right? For those of you who need mentorship, or those of you who want to learn, you know game development from YouTube and keep struggling, you're most welcome to do so. But myself and my team at G2M are there, um, if you want to be your mentors, and teach you the entire process on game development from end to end. And it's not just me. We have at Gamer to Maker, we have a team of experienced mentors for game design, game programming, game art. We are very, very passionate about making sure that you guys learn game development, because my goal at the end of the day is to make sure that the game industry in India really, really rises. It reaches that peak, and it's not going to happen unless people actually are there, and there are not enough people. If we train enough people, we create world class professionals. If we create world class professionals, then we're going to have a world class game industry. We are not going to have it until we have a low level grade of people in the game industry. So my goal is to train people to a very, very high standard, so that when they join the game industry, they rise fast, they get good salaries, and ultimately we make good games. Okay. All right. So now, guys, what I'm going to do is, this is a QR code. So scan this QR code right now. All of you who are new here, you can find all my um, all my socials here. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere. So quickly have a scan of this code. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually answer some questions. All right. So please tell me what to do after 10th. So if if you're in 10th, obviously you have to go 11th and 12th. What I would say is just start making games, start making small games, right? So that by the time you finish class 12, you will have a good grasp. There's actually somebody in the Gamer to Maker program who is in a class 12 student, who's doing really well. His name is Ash. And if you spend 10th and 12th making small games, you will really go far. All right. What age is right for game development? How to start from scratch? Just start making games. Right. I was at age 33 when I started uh, my journey as game developer. Right. Some people are asking, do um, you've heard about game dev crunch? Game. Okay. Let's talk about game dev crunch, guys. Game crunch. What exactly does crunch mean? Crunch means that you are supposed to work overtime, right? Yes, it happens in the game industry. It definitely happens in the game industry, but it happens in every single industry as well. Do you think doctors don't work overtime? Do you think that software engineers who have to create software and deliver it to the client don't work overtime? People who work in the media don't work overtime. People who work in the movie industry, they don't work overtime. Sometimes they work 30, 40, 50 hours at a stretch to edit a movie or release a movie. Overtime, working overtime is a fact of life in modern in the modern world of working. It's not just the game industry. However, if you are in a company that takes advantage of you, right? If someone takes advantage of you, um, and keeps making you work overtime without giving any money, then obviously you are in a toxic workplace. Okay, you are in a toxic workplace. So yeah, that's what I have to say. That's what I have to say about crunch. And also, by the way, there's a video about crunch in that. So Vedant, if you could just put the if you guys can please put the PDF, that'd be really great. Where's it gone? Yeah. So, pop up. Yes. And where is it exactly? Let me see. Okay, the PDF has been posted, guys. The PDF of all the resources has been posted in the G2M server. So, guys, please make sure you join it. Okay, so now I have another big announcement is that if any of you guys have questions about the Gamer to Maker programs, right? Anybody who has questions about the Gamer to Maker programs right now at 10 o'clock sharp after this live, there's a Zoom call. Okay. So all of you guys will have received, and also if you guys want a link that Zoom call, it has also been posted in the Zoom server. So Vedant, can you actually please post that Zoom link in the Gamer to Maker Discord server? And those of you who are on WhatsApp, you will be getting a link that Zoom call right now. So sharp 10 o'clock, which is about 7 minutes from now, there's going to be a Zoom call happening. And in that Zoom call, you'll be able to ask me questions live. Okay. Let me see where exactly it is in the server. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Right. Resources. It's posted in the resources section of the Game Maker server, guys. Um, Resources, yeah, game career event. There's a game career event channel, and in resources there is a link to the PDF, and there's also a link to the Zoom call that's going to be happening at 7. So this Zoom call is specifically for asking doubts about the G2M programs. It's not about general career counseling. If you have questions about, if you're interested in joining the G2M program, etc., you're most welcome to join the Zoom call and ask me questions about that. Right, that's happening right now. That's happening in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna grab a quick cup of coffee, and in I will see you guys I'll see you guys in the Zoom call right now. Okay. So yeah. So guys, all these questions you have, these are questions which have you'll get answers in the mentorship program. You're not going to get answers on the internet, right? So thank you so much for being on this live. I really appreciate you being here. I hope it was useful to you. I hope that it gave you some insight about the gaming industry, and I really hope to see you around, see you on the Discord server, and be part of this community. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good night. And those of you interested in the G2M programs, come to the Zoom call right after this. I'll see you in 5 minutes over there. Thanks. Have a good night. Let's go. Yes, you can join this game industry if you suck at maths. That's not a problem. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. I'll see you. Bye.